So I guess from like the customer standpoint, I guess the question I have is the intent-based leads. Like, how do I grab those? And I guess I make a data store for it, but how do I know what I'm looking at? Or if I am like, let's say I'm on a YouTube video selling these things, do I just let them, like, how do I let them know, I guess, kind of where the data is coming from, and how do I get that in, like, pick the right things to put into the store?
Best things to put in the store is going to end up being what people ask you over and over again. And their questions is what ends up making the best product. So when people ask you a question, you end up going down a rabbit hole, making one product. And you're like, well, actually, if I change this up a teeny bit. But with your first question, are you asking more so how to sell it? Like if someone asks you, what is this? Why is it here? How to get here?
Yes, I'm going to go to my audience and say, hey guys, I have really great leads for you. They're going to say, what types of leads? So do I tell them, this is a combination of search queries. These are the type of queries that people have searched, or this is, website data, etc. And then from there, do we group it all together and just give them the list, or can I like segment? These are your pre-foreclosures. These are your tax delinquencies. These are intent based on searches. And then how do I get access to, I guess, those lists to then, put in the store or resell to them and have them sync it into their high level?
So think of it as a pyramid upside down, where everything, or those categories you see, those categories were built by us with different keywords at the time. We were fully getting it in real time. The difficulties people were having are the exact things you're asking. When the data is sold, you have to figure out where in their expectation pipeline do you want to sell them. Because there's a big difference. Like how we showed, okay, are you going to remove the age of people over 65 for IUL, or are you not going to do that? Because that's right then and there. If your customer doesn't do that, they're going to fail at IUL immediately. And then you have to think, where do you want to sit in the value proposition? Because if you're only getting paid a penny a record and they're buying 1,000 records, that's $100. You're not going to spend 2 hours with them explaining all these little issues. But you may find that there's a core market of people that if you put a filtered data product, let's say, together, now you remove 50% of the issues those people have while getting the data. Groups of clients that our salespeople and customer support hate working with. And I'm the one who raised my hand like, all right, let me jump in this. Because a lot of them are more on the emotional side, but they're smart. So they don't require that much help. It's worth it to us because they pay $500 every month and they don't cancel because they know what they're doing with the data. They just have low patience with technology. So those are the clients that you want. But then there are clients that have technical issues, but also have no idea what they're doing. And that is the hole you don't want to step in. You might say, you know what, to make it worth my time, let me charge you 1,000. But even charging them 1,000, you may end up putting more time into explaining to them all these little nuances and go insane and end up firing them as a client. And it didn't do either of you good. So there is a very delicate balance because you're offering GoHighLevel 2 with them.
Yes.
Okay, so is it just one product you're selling and all of this is included? And if so, what is that? Like, what is the pitch you're giving them, kind of?
So it's basically a GoHighLevel platform for marketing to potentially motivated sellers. So they'll have the dialer system, they have pre-made email campaigns, they have a website with form capture. So they have all the tools to, voice AI agents to talk to these people. But what they've been doing is getting their data from third-party sources like PropWire, PropStream, et cetera, maybe even court lists and court documents. So I wanted to make kind of an all-inclusive product where on top of the $197 they pay for the high level, kind of as an add-on, they have access to the data and then they can pull it in seamlessly.
So these people already have experience with data, like have been data people traditionally, or are they basically off the street, hey, you just told them about a bright idea type of thing?
They're probably somewhat in the middle, right? So a site like PropWire is pretty easy. You go there, you select single family homes that are in foreclosure, download, and then they upload it into the system. Like that, they're capable of working with.
They were people that were generally browsing the internet that could have been, maybe they clicked on the ad on looking how maybe they can make money selling their home. They have no interest in selling it for 30% off. That's the difference with the intent data. you can be browsing something and end up in this intent data without actually searching for something as well. So it is the rawest form of intent almost. It ain't like basically when you land on a directory and you go to submit a form and you don't submit a form, this is the leftover. Think about all those people that don't submit forms. This is the captured information. So did they click the ad by accident? Was it a meme on the ad that got their attention? It truly wasn't intent. We don't know. So biggest thing when selling it is have you done mass outreach before? Like have you successfully done lots of emailing?
I use email marketing primarily to recruit students, so the messaging is a little bit different. And then once they come in to work with me, then they have the ability to email, but that's not really a good source for us in terms of finding the motivated sellers. They're more so using, virtual assistants or doing their own cold calling to these prospects.
Okay, so a lot of the clients of yours already have like an infrastructure of VAs. They're in this for a while.
Yeah, they pretty much know what they're doing. Some have VAs, some do the cold calling themselves. But they're just looking for the right people and the right lists of people to call, which is probably like the intent-based stuff. Yeah, foreclosure, vacancy, tax delinquent, probate, inherited properties, all of those are things that we kind of target.
In terms of presenting this data, that data, in my opinion, that you're talking about, if it's enriched right, is better. This is fallback data. This is, hey, when there's not enough data of pre-foreclosures that are skip trace, because there's only 300 for the week, this is the extra data to throw into the dialer. But one thing that you said about email, I wouldn't discount it, because not because you want them to take action immediately, but education. Imagine like you're a newsletter and you're just informing the people that were in the pre-foreclosure intent database when they were maybe looking a year ago, and you just figure out news and statistics, and basically every 5 sentences plug in a little ad that's you saying, hey, are you interested?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
No, so I mean, I wouldn't discount that, but that's kind of where the intent data comes in, because you're not going to have the human dialing the intent data first. They're going to dial the pre-foreclosures court dockets first of like, okay, this is coming up. Let me get the skip trace information. Like that should always come first. The intent data more so is the dough to massage constantly. So when it's a rainy day, you can look back into GoHighLevel, possibly, for instance, the email analytics. And I don't look for responses ever. I don't give a shit about responses. I want to see, did you open an email a year ago? Did you open one 6 months ago? And are you still opening them? Because if you're still opening them, you're interested and you have some trust in me over a year to open 20 emails in 12 months. So basically collecting data from the data. So when it's a rainy day and there's no pre-foreclosure phone numbers that you want to waste time on, you can start filtering by who opened the most frequently and then pick up the phone and dial those people directly from the CRM.
Great idea and perfect. And I'll probably even create some of those campaigns for them. So yeah, that makes sense. And I guess like in terms of actually grabbing the data, like of the email that Naomi sent to me, like which of those should I be using? And I'll share even my screen that this was an email from you. This is I'm trying to find out like where do I get how do I get like these lists or even similar things? And like even I haven't watched this video yet that you have, but I see that like here someone has this Florida intent sell my home. Like how did they create that?
So that's coming from an intent database. So you see the data type, sell my home January 2025. Coming from one of the intent databases that are from the purchase database. Let's go back here and click admin. Now let's go to marketplace and old databases.
Did you say all or old?
All, ALL.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
These are all the intent databases that have ever been generated, right? So everything here, all of these databases, you can do the data store with, and that list you see right here of reverse mortgage, these had filters that we did. And I think I just did it as so all I did was add the age range 65 and was a homeowner. This database, people were falling on websites to do a reverse mortgage. Doesn't I own a home for one reason. They ended up on a website. That's all we know. That's the first filter. Ended up on a website. So for the client, I actually have the whole video on YouTube. I'll send you the link, but I have the video of when we created. He wanted to find people that more likely than not had over 60% equity on their home. That
Mhm.
was the original goal for an audience. So he was asking Gemini, all right, based on this, what demographic indicators are the most likely? And Gemini told him people who are looking for a reverse mortgage and people who are older would be more likely than not to have over 50 or 60% equity ownership in their home. He used this database to do that. And he
Got
just
it.
wanted to add filters as 65 and as a homeowner. So that way, anyone that was looking for reverse mortgages over the age of 65 removed anyone that might have not been a homeowner for his users. And you can make the categories. So the data is basically what you define it as, right? At the end of the day, these people are here because a SHA 256, a 256 digit number ended up on a website. That's literally the reality. And then
Mhm.
everything else, someone, whether it's us, you, or elsewhere, basically need to do the data science part, right? Like, this is raw data, and as the white label owner, you are trying to mold together from all of this information into a narrower list that the client of yours has an easier time using. But listen to that video, because it goes into, like, when people are asking what should they charge, and there's a big difference. Are we charging half a penny and someone else is doing all this thinking, or not? And for instance, we have a client that pays $10,000 for 1,000,000 records that you can buy for $2,000 in Avocado. The difference is he wants nothing to do with the system. He wants poor people in Brooklyn. That was his request. There's no poor people in Brooklyn.
Mhm.
So through going through the homeowners and going through credit scores and going through, are you divorced and own a home? Well, if you're divorced and own a home and you have children, there's a very high statistic that you are on Medicaid. Now there's that science aspect that he doesn't want to think. Well, he actually did some of the thinking for me. I'm not going to lie. He just didn't want to use the system at all. And that's really where the value comes in, because the data still has to do something, and you're still doing a lot of work for them. Like when you were saying with the emails, if you can get that set up in advance for these people, that's very good. Like maybe there's a whole category of within the people looking to sell the home.
Mhm.
Maybe you want to just do a segment to 45 to 55 people who maybe their kids are going to college and they want to, who knows? Like there's a whole different audiences to engage from the one data set. Like the one data set isn't technically one audience. It is one broad audience, but everyone might be looking to sell their home for different reasons.
Oh, that one that I had looked at, it says like Florida intent sell my home. That looks like it would be a good one for me. Do you know like what criteria that's built off of, or like how those home?
They were on websites that were related to Sell My Home in January 2025. And then all
Okay.
we did was add a filter for being in Florida, because basically pre-filtered it. So instead of it being the whole database of all 50 states, we just put the filter in advance of Florida.
Got it. Okay, so that sounds like something I'd like to grab. So I would just go into the data store.
You would have to make it. So let's look at the two different angles. Are you trying to get the data yourself to download, or do you want your users to be able to access it?
I'd like the users to be able to access it.
Okay, so you would have to get you would have to get the A record set up on the white label first.
Okay.
So if you wanted to do that quickly, I can stay put, and then we can get this next thing turned on.
I have Bluehost, and what I kind of wanted to do is maybe set it up as a like a subdomain. So like my website, it's the name of my software. It's called REI Titan. So I wanted to do like the data store would be REI Titan I don't know, store or something like that. I wanted to see if I could set it up that way.
Yeah, exactly. So do you want to go to your label and we can add record, single record, and now go to the dashboard on the left tab for Advocate Data on the top. And now let's go to white label and copy that IP address 35. Click on that.
Back there.
And paste where it says point to. And do you want it to be like app dot your domain, or do you want it to be data dot your domain? That's what you
app is good.
All right, so we'll put app.
Actually, no, that is pretty good. That sounds better. Yeah.
You do other host, and then just type in app.
All right, I'm gonna do that instead of like that one.
Okay, and then paste that IP address right there and
add.
So now let's go back to dashboard, type in the domain data dot, and then white label. And we have one more of these to do under the data store, so you can get the second domain on.
And then do I just hit white label dashboard?
Correct. You may have to type something in description first.
Okay.
So now go on to another tab and let's look the domain up quickly. And if it worked, you should see a white void. Bingo, it worked. So now let's do the second one. Go back to your, right there, and go to marketplace on the left. Go to data store white label, 3 rows up. Yeah. And create white label configuration. And then this one I called out was marketplace.domain, but you can name it what you want. And then we would take that IP address again and do the same thing on Bluehost.
All right, that's a lot easier to remember.
Yeah, you can click save right there. All fields required. And in a new tab, you have your data.reititan.com. Okay. Over here, we can start editing this page and putting some stuff on it. So if you go to where dashboard null is again, the agency. Let's do step 3 first and just get some colors on it. So you have to click on there first.
Yeah. Okay.
And let a number. Yeah, you have to do that one first. Yeah, that one. Okay. So now let's go back to your version, refresh. We can do one of two things right now. We can make an account or we can keep editing the website.
Just do the account.
So if you scroll up and then you go to sign in or start free trial, create an account. Just fill it out. Check your spam. This is where users would get stuck now if they can't put a credit card in. But now what we can do is if you go to dashboard on the left, the tab, the white label, and then let's go over to where it says agency customer plan towards the bottom, and then let's create a plan. So we can call it the free plan, make it $0 or whatever, and just name it something, and then put contacts in. So put like 1,000, 10,000, whatever. And then take enable free trial to off, scroll down, and you can hit save at the bottom. Hit select databases. Just select business professionals. That's usually the one I get to everybody. And then add. You see CRM on the left. Yeah. Go to customers and then go over to the right and see that person plus button. Click that. Select the plan, test, subscribe. And now if you go back to your white label version and refresh, you'll now have 10 credits. And then if you go to databases, where that drop down is, and go to custom databases, you'll see that business professional custom database that was added. The unlocked database, that's going to bring you to the marketplace.retitan.com. So once you get that set up, it'll direct to the marketplace when you make products in Data Store. Okay. So then people don't have to filter. They can just buy the pre-built list from you without you having to assign a custom database and have them do all the filtering on the left.
So database is the ones that I've already given them access to, and then unlock is ones that they would buy. Is that it?
Bingo. Yep.
Okay, cool. And then what's the difference between these two again?
So custom databases is the top layer of the funnel, and Data Store is the filter you did from a custom database to make a Data Store product. So let's say someone wants to find painters, business professionals, they can filter painters here. Or you can filter painters in the Data Store product and pre-build it for them. And in that marketplace I showed you, if they selected it, it would load here. Okay, but if nothing's selected, you'll just get this? You would just get this if nothing's there, yeah. And there's a back button. So to go back to what we did, right? If I wanted to give them access to the intent-based leads or to the thing that was Florida sellers or whatever, how do I give them access to that? You would have to assign it to them. So let me share my screen quickly. You can circumvent them having to go to unlock database to get to the Florida one. You would be able to go and say, all right, where did you see Florida? Right here. So Florida, and you would be able to edit the filter if you wanted to. So these were all the filters pre-done. As a homeowner, Florida, and has all this information included, for instance. What you could do is you can click this person button, the blue one, and assign users to it. So for instance, I'm going to go assign this to you, save assignment, scroll up and click that purple tab that says admin on the top. Right here? Yeah, click that switch and then go to databases and then go to data stores and then boom. So the user is not able to filter this. They would just be able to buy it and buy, save list and download it.
Got it. And you guys made this intent to sell my home. This was like people who landed on websites with intent.
Yes, let me show you my screen.
Okay.
So this database came from the original Sell My Home database. And that Sell My Home database was of people landing on websites that would intend that they had some interest in selling their home.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
it funneled down to this. So 500,000 records funneled down to 10,000. So now that your user, instead of you just giving them the Sell My Home database, you would be able to subcategorize it for them. So now you remove 490,000 records in advance. Now they don't have to email those people or think about why they're there.
All right, and then this stuff here, right? Because this looks good. I think this is kind of what I want. If I in the future wanted to, like, you know, open up to more states besides Florida, or if I or, you know, in the future, you know, let's say it's now May, is this auto updated, or is there any additional filtering I can do to this? Or is this
So
just a static list?
this is the end result of the product you made. So if you want to make another product and let's say you want to change the state, you would have to go back to admin if you flip that admin switch, and then go to marketplace data store,
Marketplace data store, okay.
and then go to create data store. I think it's gonna let you. All right, oh yeah, it still lets you. So then if you scroll down, you'll see where it says source table, select the database. You would be able to then select through here again if you wanted to change the state. Then you'd be able to narrow all these down how you want.
Gotcha. So for the best data, like I could give my people, right? Maybe real estate December 2025, and then these are the filter options. So as of now, this would be like all states, and then I could filter and then rename it and then assign that to a student.
Exactly. So for instance, let's think of people who may be middle age, and say people who are in the age of 35 to 45, and let's pick a job industry where jobs are going away. Maybe that might be a stronger indicator of someone who would be ready to take cash for their home or something. Or filter high income areas, or not high income areas, areas that are expensive to live and that may have lost the most amount of jobs. And I mean, those are the ways I would think about it. Given the
And do I need to add skip trace state, or will they automatically skip?
So use personal state first. Skip trace state is more of like a secondary validation, more for enrichment. Like, okay, if there's an aged address in there, then we can map it to get the newest stuff. But more so work with the personal state, personal city, personal zip.
Gotcha. Okay, so to create this, just to come back one more time, I'd add
this. Yeah, you have the categories first. So in order to make it, you have to have it assigned to a category and a subcategory. Just have to make sure they exist. And if they don't, you can create them.
So somewhere like that, and then source table. And these are the ones, right? Just to clarify that were on those websites.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, awesome. The other one that had the Florida one, how do I access that one again?
So that was actually created from a database you have access to. So if you go to
okay. So I would just use that same one, but I would put the Florida and then I could rename it. Yes.
Exactly. And the naming should go directly into the expectations of what you want your user to think they're getting into. So I would never sell these as people ready to sell their home. That is not in any way true. It's okay, being they are all of these characteristics, plus them being on these websites, use different types of filtering and engineering. And that's why I was saying, all right, well, if different job segments are going away in different areas and people are middle age, well, maybe they can't afford the home anymore and they're trying to sell.
Gotcha. And would you have a recommendation? I mean, just looking at this, I would think to start real estate December. Do you think that's like a good place to start?
Personally, no. I think the older the better, because people looking to sell their home in June probably didn't sell it yet. And people who listed their home 4 or 5 months ago, it's going to still be on the market, and they're not going to be willing to take a price reduction probably yet. There hasn't been enough time.
Got it. So maybe about 6 months back.
That's what I've been seeing working best, honestly, and that's kind of why we hit the pause button on buying more intent data, because it was like, wait, people are telling us they're getting better results with stuff in June than stuff in December, and that's when we're like, all right, let us reevaluate quite a bit. And then, for instance, seniority level, like, are you looking for someone who might be a CEO of their own company, or different factors like that?
And you mentioned at one point something about bringing your own data. Like if I brought a list in there, that's something I could sell, or is it something you guys could skip trace and then sell? Or
so you can upload it where it says add database on the left side, and you can enrich it after you do that. And
awesome. And so I would just upload like a CSV file. And then
Exactly.
as I go down, there's an option to enrich.
Exactly. And
Okay, so if every month, sorry to cut you, if I went to like Palm Beach County Court and I pulled a list of pre-foreclosures and upload it to here and then enrich it, it would skip trace and then I could make it as a data store product.
bingo. And if
Awesome.
you're
That's
willing
cool.
to do that work, I know we has people calling all the time for this type of information. And that's why the marketplace is what we want our product to be, because you're smart enough to know where to get the data. People come to us all the time. Now we can start pointing people to different white labels. And the way we make money is by having you keep paying us $500 a month. And in order for you to do that, if we're sending you these people, that's our whole business model in mind. Like I started the whole conversation, primary source data is the best. Courts, it's not any
Right.
better than that. It doesn't. Intent data is scraps compared to that at the end of the day. If you were to do that, I wouldn't charge you for the enrichment. I would just do it. And so that I have people asking for that all the time that we never sell to. And we can start sending them your domain to go to.
That'd be awesome. And then so for the enrichment, do I need to like reach out to you, or as I go down, does it just
Reach out to me because I want to go through the columns with you just to
Okay.
know which ones are the most factual, because that way we'll do the enrichment together basically.
Okay, and because I don't want to bother you too much, but I have lists, like probably hundreds of lists that I could potentially push through for enrichment.
So let's start getting them queued up and
Okay.
start uploading them, because if we get more than one uploaded, and I'm assuming a lot of the columns are kind of similar, then that way we can just take all of them all at once and enrich it instead of having to do it one by one. So let me give you, do you have an iMessage or do you have WhatsApp?
WhatsApp, probably better.
Okay, I'm giving you my number. That's funny. I'm in New York and my number is Florida. And that's Florida and your number is New York. Message me here.
Okay.
And I'll give you all the help you need with this, because the fact that you have this data and you actually have a clue of what you're doing, that's good for us, because people from 3 years ago keep coming back to us asking for stuff that we don't have on hand immediately. So that was the whole idea of this whole software, is getting similar people together and everyone fills a different void in the market that doesn't exist.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, it looks great. Yeah, that's a lot of clarity. Okay, cool. It's very excited.